Hello everyone, my name is Chris and we're going to talk about Supercell. So Supercell is a very famous company that has launched a lot of famous games. For example, Brawl Stars, for example Clash Royale, for example Clash of Clans. Those are some popular games, mobile games in the world. So let's begin. So we're going to talk about five parts and parts of content. The first is we're going to introduce the firm and the basic game industry that Supercell is in now, and also we're going to introduce its pricing strategies and its output. Next, we're going to introduce challenges firm faces, competition strategies, future strategy recommendations. So first, about the introduction to Supercell, we can see that Supercell is a mobile game company from Finland. It started its game industry in 2010, and it is famous for Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, and Brawl Stars. For me, I played a long time. I've been playing for 4 years, in Brawl Stars, and I actually understand a lot about this game. So just can analyze these games, and yeah. So it is a kind of a free-to-play games. What do you mean by free-to-play games? You just click downloads in your app, and you can just play. Yeah, and then it's not free. It's not free in the game, but it is free. You can have free access to the game. But there are a lot of in-app purchases. For example, gems, skins, or game props that help you to maybe increase your maybe help you to buy skins, increase some levels. Get higher levels of the characters. Yeah, and its target is kind of everyone who likes fun, social, and competitive games. And something I didn't write on this PPT is that it focused mainly on short duration games. So if you play Brawl Stars, if you play a Clash Royale, you can see that one game duration is like about approximately 3 minutes to 5 minutes, which is quite low compared to other mobile games. So it is one of its special characteristics or special advantages, because like students can just they can play those quick games with 3 to 5 minutes during maybe class breaks, and they can just play it. So yeah, that's their advantages. So about industry overview, it is a global mobile gaming market. It's highly growing, innovative, and very competitive. It has a high barriers. Oh, sorry. It has a high it has a high barriers to entry, and it is kind of independence. So what is independence? It is kind of one characteristics in oligopoly between companies, because there are few game companies, and it has a lot of non-price competition. They want to build their brand awareness, to build their user experience, or they have their Supercell model, which small teams, one team focus on one game, and one small team focus on one game, and yeah, every group focus on their assigned game. So that's kind of their business model. So yeah. So moving on to the next, about pricing strategy. They have a freemium model. It is free to download and play, as I mentioned before, and our players can choose to pay for special things. For example, gems, gold skins, and a season pass. A very classic things, season pass. In every mobile games, you can see, and almost 60% or 70% of the game, they have a pass thing. Like they have a seasonal pass, they have a royal pass, and these pass can the players can pay for these passes for extra rewards. So there's price discrimination. So what is price discrimination? Price discrimination is kind of a process where one firm target different prices to different customers or different players based on their ages, their characteristics. So in a Supercell, they charge casual players like low price for low price because those casual players don't like to spend much money on games, and they charge a lot on some dedicated well players because those players spend a lot to progress faster and look cool. Maybe look cool because of their they want to look cool, and so this is one of the famous model, the oligopoly model in econ. So about demand elasticity, it is elastic casual players versus inelastic, which is the dedicated player. So we can see this graph. Okay, this graph we have some very basic stuff. So first is the demand curve. We can see this is the very typical classical demand and supply. It's demand, and also demand is equal to average revenue. But why does the marginal revenue lower than the demand curve? Because as the firm want to produce more or increase the quantity in order to lower the price. They need to lower the price. In order to produce more, they need to lower the price. And when they lower the price, they lower every product's price. So when I charge one product for $10 and I lower the price, in order to sell a second product, I don't just lower the price for the second product. I lower the price for the first product as well. So when I charge 10, I lower every product for $1. They have $9 products, and they lower every individual products in order to sell the more quantity. They lower every price in order to sell more quantity. That's why the marginal revenue is lower than marginal cost. It's lower than demand. So you can see these are the profit and cost area for typical oligopoly firms like Supercell. So its cost structure: high fixed cost, low variable cost, and kind of Supercell want to achieve the economies of scale. What is economies of scale? Is when one firm produce more quantity and they extends their scale to a large extent, the average total cost is going to decrease. So yeah, that's basic reason for an oligopoly. So beyond profit maximization, its secondary goals is key players, and they want to build friendship and their brand integrity. They want to make their game more fun first, and they want to have a high probability and a sustainable player engagement. For example, they add new game content regularly, they support esports tournaments, and they help streamers and content creators. So about the challenges the firm faces. The first one is the content creator disengagement. The first is the reduction in game features that inspire creative or long-term pursuit context. For example, removal of hero mastery in Brawl Stars with similar progression systems, which makes those players kind of bored, right? They're kind of bored, and the creators kind of state that they produce content less frequently due to diminished passion, often relying on nostalgia for views. This shrinks the active community and weakens the free marketing. So you can see those pictures. One of famous content creators, Cryman and Karos Time, Superlab, they send a lot of passive stuff about they send a lot of passive stuff about those content in Brawl Stars. I mean, yeah, so maybe these content creators does not have a lot of revenue because Supercell cancel a lot of game features for them to kind of make profit, for those content creators to make profit. So yeah, that's kind of influence all the online communities, for example YouTube and other communities as well. Yes. So the second is from surprising to boring. It is kind of focused more on consumers. For example, the first point is that it lowered the difficulties in acquiring high value resources. Just for example, browsers, you're going to acquire those high value resources very simply or in the future, and those legendary brawlers. So before the players, I might think like, oh, I opened chest, I got a legendary brawler, and it's quite lucky, and yeah, I'm very surprised and very surprising to me. But however, in nowadays, the game kind of make me bored because, oh, if I didn't get those legendary brawler, I'm going to get those legendary brawler in the future. Definitely going to get those legendary brawler in the future. So that will make my journey, that will make my playing kind of bored. So because of Star Road, gamers might think, I can still get it anyways, so it makes it diminish those players' interest. The core collection progression cycle loses its appeal. Long-term players may lack of goals, reducing daily engagement and potentially lowering the in-game spending. So also, the MAU increased very slowly. You can see here, this graph, the browser's monthly player strength. It increased a lot during the May 2025, but it kind of increased slowly in the last 5 months in 2025. Yes. So about the competition strategy, the first pricing strategy is